Hey everybody, this is Crystal Clear 101. I have another Airsoft review today, and I know you may have heard me mention something about this in my 1928 Cybergun Thompson review. Well, this one is the M1A1 Thompson by Cybergun. Now, I know I said that compared to the 1928, it's inferior. However, to be perfectly honest, I was referring to the overall finish of it. But overall, this is honestly not too horrible of an airsoft gun. It does have all the auto ordnance markings. The only complaint I have, keep in mind, this one right here is a plastic body. It's not a metal body. Matter of fact, the only parts on this weapon that are even metal, honestly, are the two pins for the safety and the selector. Those are the only parts on this that are even metal. Other than that, it disassembles exactly like the 1928. Then again, the 1928 was using the M1 body. Just two screws down here. Now, what are some pros and cons I have about this? Well, let me go ahead and get the cons out of the way first. Number one, I don't know exactly what kind of gearbox that this uses, but I do know it's plastic, and which means that, you know, it will eventually burn out. It'll burn out quicker than a metal gearbox will. The main complaint I have is how you get the battery out. On the 1928, you just pull this piece here out, then you pull it up, twist it to the side. No, not on this one. Pull this tab up, then you pull this out, and there is your battery compartment. Now the complaint I have is this is what keeps it held onto the weapon, and this piece right here is plastic. So if you break this piece off, then there's really going to be nothing keeping this onto the butt of the weapon. And also, the magazine only holds about, I think it's about 40 rounds. I think this only holds about 40 rounds. The magazine itself is plastic. But not that I have a personal complaint with that. For me, that's a bit more realistic, considering the original weapon held either a 20 or a 30 round magazine. And for some of you, this is not a complaint. For me, this one is a complaint. This weighs about, I want to say about 3.5 pounds. This is very, very light. For me, this is almost like an oversized pistol for me, as I can just hold it out, sight it in, with absolutely no issues. Matter of fact, this is barely even wobbling in my hand. But, what are some pros I do have about it? Number one, it's an M1A1 Thompson. It actually does look fairly decent. The bolt, even though it doesn't do anything really, it's just there for looks. It's still cool to just rack the bolt back. Gives a little more of an authentic feel to it. It uses the same hop-up system that the 1928 does. It's easy to get to, but it's not too easy to move. You can either get to it right here, or you can remove the magazine. You can then get to it right there. Now, compared to other Thompsons, this one's a bit more affordable. I've seen this from a low of $89.99, and I think the highest I've seen this is about $129.99. Now, because this uses, in airsoft terms, a low capacity magazine, let me show the one thing that will become your friend, especially if you only have one magazine. Trust me. And that's a speed loader. This holds about 100 rounds. Oh well. And before I go any further, let me go ahead and show the side picture, as it has an aperture rear sight as well as a notch. So you have your two options, plus the rear sight's adjustable for windage, elevation, you know, what have you. Now, the safety on the selector on this one back is semi-automatic, single. Right there's fully automatic. Now let's go ahead and see what this little baby can do on semi-automatic. Well then. Not bad. Now, fully automatic, let's rock and roll. As I said, if you only have one magazine, a speed loader is your friend. Now, a little something I did forget to mention, the battery that this one uses, now the default battery comes with it is an 8.4 volt, 450 milliamp. Now, the one I have in this one is the one from the 1928, which is at 8.4 volt, 1100 milliamp. Now, whether or not that hurts this or not, I personally do not know. I will say this, I have noticed a little bit of a smell coming from when I use the 1100 milliamp. But, I mean, overall, it's not too terrible of an airsoft. It's really not. I mean, you got your this is something else I forgot to mention is sling swivels up here and down here are also metal. Now, I'm not worried about this one. This one, considering you can see the seam right here in the stock, I'm afraid that after a while that this part of the stock right here will eventually break. But, I mean, overall, you know, for the 90 to 120 bucks that this will run you, I mean, it's not bad for an Airsoft Thompson. It's full size. And to be perfectly frank, it actually does make for one kick-ass prop. So, if you're looking for a reasonably inexpensive Thompson, this is the way to go. But, overall, it's decent. It may not be the same quality as the all-metal M1A1 or the 1928, but it's still a decent option. But that's been my review on the Cybergun M1A1 Thompson. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. And before I forget, let me give a special shout out to my cameraman, Georgia Fox. I'll provide a link to his channel in the description below. As I said, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.